let's get going with today. We're gonna have a quick session on what's new in Strapi 4.1. I'm Daniel, developer relations at Strapi, um, and this is sort of like our sort of like easing in stream where we'll we'll just be getting back into the rhythm of talking to everyone and having these on a regular basis because I know we haven't really done that in the last 2 months following StrapiConf. Um, but a little bit about what we'll be doing today. We'll talk about what's been happening. I think there's been the Strapi community has been buzzing with lots of activity along different things. So we'll give you that. And then I have Strapi 101 that we'll be doing, given everything that's changed in the 4.1 release. And then we'll also look at what you can expect that's coming up. So, um, what's been happening? Any any guesses? Oh, Edward, I just saw it said it's raining in New York. That's pretty cool. I wish it could rain here. Any guesses from what you've been noticing in the community? What have you been seeing happening? What have you liked? What has added value to your everyday? What have you been using? Um, what would you like? Let me know in the chat, and hopefully we get to cover that. So, um, StrapiCon for starters was really fun. It was nice to have everyone sort of in one place. Tell amazing stories for people building applications with Strapi. That was super cool. So we really do, from the bottom of our heart, thank all of you for that. Um, it was really nice. And if you want recordings of the sessions that were be given at StrapiConf, all of those are accessible on our YouTube. So um, you can definitely um, you can definitely do that. I'll share some links for the StrapiConf replays. Um, and then yeah, I'm gonna introduce to you Paul, who recently joined us as a developer advocate. So he joined my team, and you'll be seeing a lot more of him. Um, Maybe a little bit less of me. So I'm gonna have Paul come on and just sort of say something about himself.
Hey guys, nice to meet you, and thanks Daniel for the introduction. I'm glad to be here. I'm a new developer relationship uh, advocate here at Strapi, and the way I got started is I've worked in my last company building Strapi projects, but more importantly, I have a small YouTube channel where everything that I do, I seem to talk about Strapi. And the way I got started here, one of my friends told me, he's like, "You talk about Strapi so much. Why don't you go ahead and see if you could apply and get a job there?" Because I'm really passionate about the project, and I think it's really awesome. So thank you for allowing me to join your community, and I'm glad to be here.
I mean, you're already a big part of the community, so thanks for
Yeah.
joining. And if you want to chat with Paul, you can hit him up in the Discord if you haven't already joined. What's your username, Paul?
That's a good question. Um, I, you know, to be honest with you, let me quickly check because I had another account, but I set up another one.
Okay,
So 1 second. I'll put it in the chat, guys, so you guys don't have
yeah.
to worry.
Or you can just drop like a message in
Yeah,
the Discord.
yeah,
And yeah,
here.
thanks for the introduction. I'm really looking forward to all the cool stuff that we'll be doing, and I'm sure the community will be excited to chat with you.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
so take you backstage. Um, Yeah, do share your channel also in the chat, Paul. I'll take you backstage. You'll be seeing a bit more of Paul. He'll actually be giving the 101. So yeah, hold up for that. So yeah, Paul joined us. Really excited about that. And in the last few months, we've had a couple things happen. We had a release where we shipped the dark mode version of Strapi into the main product. So if that's something that's super important for you or super critical, or like that's something you just enjoy aesthetically, Strapi is now available in dark mode. You also have a nice guided demo. We got a lot of feedback from people saying um, it wasn't really intuitive working through collection types, managing content, setting, and sort of having different permissions for how to access your API. And so we added a nice little guided demo that can sort of walk you through how to do that with Strapi. Um, we also launched our in-app marketplace. And so um, you can browse all of the items, all of the plugins inside the Strapi app, copy the command, install them, and yeah, that's something that we also ship. Very excited about that. And something that we shipped recently is a plugin resource page. I'm not sure if you've all seen that, and I'll be sharing all the links to the things that I'm mentioning a little later. That was pretty exciting. We now have a dedicated page for people who want to build integrations, and I see your questions below. We'll get to them a little soon, or probably answer them in the presentation. So we'll get there. But on the plugin resource page, we did ship that. And if you're someone who wants to build a Strapi plugin, learn how sort of like the internals work, build your own integration, so you can definitely check that out. Yeah, thank you, Kenny. And we have a couple things in beta. I think at the beginning of the stream, we had a couple people um, asking about TypeScript. Um, we have TypeScript that's currently in beta, as well as logo customization, so you can make the Strapi app your own. So definitely check that out. And then this is to answer your question, Platy. We have a few things coming. Right now, we have the technical RFC open for custom fields, which would help so much with the Shopify integration example that you gave. And so you can definitely have a look at that, leave a comment, tell us what you think and how you think it should work. And hopefully we can build this thing that everyone wants together. I see we had sort of like an influx of people. Welcome. We're sort of going through everything that's been going on and changed over the last few months since we last sort of chatted or met. So I'm just talking about custom fields and how the technical RFC for that is open. Do leave a comment, and let's see if I can get you a link to the technical RFC for custom fields. There we go. I'll send a couple others pretty soon, once Paul starts giving the presentation. And now it's time to bring Paul back. And at the end, we'll sort of get into a lot of the other things that I shared. So, Paul, take it away.
Hey, thanks. So let's see, sharing my screen. So today I just want to do a basic Strapi 101 setup and kind of talk about some of the cool things that we currently have. So we'll just start fresh with a new project. And the first thing we want to do is make sure that you guys have Node version 14 installed, because that's where we are now. And so sometimes when people run into issues, they're like, oh, maybe you're not using the right Node version, which is perfectly fine at the time. So the way we're going to start our app, we're just going to use npx create Strapi app. And we want to use the latest code here. And we're going to call it demo app. And we're going to use the quick start flag, which will basically let us get started quickly with SQLite, which is for development is perfectly. And if you misspell stuff like I do all the time on stream, that's perfectly fine. That's the bane of my existence. And keep me spelling stuff again, so it's okay. You could tell I'm nervous. I'm meeting you guys for the first time, so I apologize. npx create Strapi app. You know, Daniel was telling me like, no pressure, Paul, no pressure. And, you know, it's like lots of pressure. But I'm glad that you guys are here to join us. So yeah, keep questions in the chat. If you guys have any, let me know. And so we'll go from there. So I think all my spelling is correct now, and we're going to get going and get started. So this is going to install the basic instance of Strapi. And today I do want to show you dark mode. I know a lot of people are excited about it. I also want to talk about the plugins and how you could install plugins yourself. I think, which is very important. And then there's another cool feature that I don't know if you guys are familiar with, where you could give custom API tokens for endpoints. For instance, like you might have a public blog and you want certain access to your content to be available for users who maybe don't have to be logged in, and you want to make that available. So I'll show you how to do that as well. But while we wait, let's see, take a look at the comments. See, a lot of comments, a lot of comments.
All good, Paul. Don't worry about your spelling. We've got it running, so we're all good. I was just sharing some of the links that I mentioned.
No, that's fantastic. No, I'm I'm good. So let me open up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny. Like whenever you're doing a stream, it's like things that could go wrong will go wrong. So let
yeah.
me.
There's like a law apparently. Everything that could go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah,
But you're doing great.
yeah. So
Um, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'll let
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
no,
your
no
thing.
worries. Yeah, that's like the basically how my life is. You know, when something will happen, it will happen. You just do the best that you can. So when you install Strapi, we'll ask you to create your first admin user. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And let's get started. And once you get into the dashboard, the coolest thing now you have a little guided tour that could help you get started, especially when you're brand new to Strapi. So what we're going to do, we're going to do and go through this tour together. So we could go and create our first collection type. So let's click build our first collection type, click new collection type, and we're going to just start really simple. We're just going to have a post, and we're going to click continue, and you have different data structures that you could create here. We're going to again keep it super simple, select text, and we're going to have a title, and we're going to use short text for this one. Add another field, we're going to add rich text, and we're going to call it content. And what's cool about our rich text editor, you could write all your posts in Markdown, which I think is pretty awesome. You're going to click finish, save, and let it do its thing. And then now,
Hey, Paul. By the way, could you zoom in a bit?
oh,
Just a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let me know if that's
Awesome.
better. I apologize for that, guys. And so
That's
now we're
perfect.
going
Yeah.
to create our first content. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's create new entry. It's going to be our first post. And we're just going to say, what should our first post be? You guys are awesome. I think that makes sense. Why not? And we're going to save and publish. And what's awesome now, we have this test the API feature, which is really cool. That was something new that I found out is when you click generate new API, you could now create a token that you could use to get your content that you don't want to be public available. Let's see, that people could get from any site, but you provide a token that they could use. So I'm going to just say test token. Test token, why not? Keep it simple, and we'll keep it read only. So this is going to generate a token for us. Very beautiful. I'm going to copy it to clipboard. And so let's just take a look. We have our posts. We have uh, just one post here for now. And normally when you go to uh, create your content types, you will go into roles and you could give either public permissions or authenticated if a user is logged into the system. But you might just want to have access. Like I said, if you have a blogging website and you want your blog post to be available to everybody, but at the same time, you want to limit it to your website specifically. And what you can do is you could actually use this token now. And I'll show you what I mean by example. If we go here on Insomnia, if right now I click get post public, because we didn't give any permission, it's going to be forbidden, right? We're not allowed to get access here. So I'm going to go to get posts from API, and I'm going to add my bearer token that we just copied. I'm going to click send, and notice now we're able to get our post. So now you can have a website where you could make your API calls, let's say your React application, Next.js application, using this token, and knowing that people won't be able to just randomly go to the URL, hit posts, and get the data. Maybe you just want people to get it from your website. So I thought that's kind of really cool use case, and you could come up with really cool ways to use this as well. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys. And yeah, let's see if you guys have any questions. Let me know. Another thing that I want to talk about is about uh, plugins, because plugins are super awesome. So let's go back to our Strapi application here. And if you click Marketplace, you now have access to all these amazing plugins that are either created by the Strapi team or other developers. And what's cool, you're now able to extend your Strapi functionality fairly easily. And so let's say I want to be able to take notes. So I could look up for notes plugin. I could click learn more. It's going to take me to the website. It will show me, how to install it, what steps I have to do to make it work. And just so you guys could see something here before I set it up, I'm going to copy the install command. If I go back to my content manager, my first site, notice here, there's no additional options here. So we're going to install a plugin which will allow us to add notes functionality where I could take notes, maybe leave notes for somebody else who's working on the content with me. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our terminal. I'm going to stop the server for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that install command for that Strapi plugin. Once everything is set, there's one more step you guys have to do, and it's register your plugin in your Strapi application. So let me open it in code. Let me make it bigger. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to go into our application under configs. We want to create a new file called plugins.js. And what we want to do is we want to paste in this code here to register a plugin. Boom. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to restart. I forgot that I have to cd into my folder. What do I call it? Demo app, cd demo app, yarn develop. Now let's start our application again here. Let's see here. Oh, I see what I did. I know my mistake. I did not install my plugin where it needed to be installed because I forgot I was in the wrong folder. So we'll get it going now. And in theory, everything should work. And it's going to rebuild the UI. Beautiful. Take time to build the UI. And now when we go back to our application here, content manager, refresh. Now, and I know I'm too zoomed in, now we have this add note feature that we never had in our application. So now I could say, hey, this is note. And what I really like about this is because this is awesome, because now anybody could, through plugins, add any additional functionality that they like to their Strapi application. And this is really cool because then you could go, let me come back here to Marketplace. You could actually submit your own plugins to the Marketplace. And I think that's really awesome. And you could also see other plugins that are available here. And what I want to do is, I guess, bring it back to, actually, before we do that, let me see if you guys have any questions at the moment. Oh, yes, the most important feature. I almost forgot. We need to know how to enable dark mode because some people just have to dark mode everything. I have a friend. He literally said to me, if it's not in dark mode, I don't want to use it. And I was like, I don't know. I particularly like dark mode, so it's not a problem. So if you click on your avatar here, click profile, it will take you to your profile setting page. And here under interface mode, you select dark mode, click save, and bam, look, already significantly way better. I mean, dark mode is awesome. I really like it. And so those are the three things I wanted to cover in today's Getting Started, is to show you how easy it's actually to install Strapi and easy to set up your content via content type builder. You could make posts, whatever you want, depending what your site is. You could make a e-commerce store. You could make a video platform. Pretty much anything that you can create as content, you could do here, and it's very easy to manage. And then the second thing I wanted to show you is the feature of creating that API that you could use for like your API tokens to be able to make secure requests from websites, which I thought was really awesome. And then I wanted to introduce the marketplace, show you how easily you can install plugins, and more importantly is that you yourself could create plugins for Strapi. And I guess that's all I had for you for today for now. And I'll definitely love to do more live streams like this and answer all of your questions. And let's see here. Let's see. We have comments. All right. Thanks. Blah, blah. Dark mode too many. Yep. Nice. And yeah, dark mode is awesome. Yep. And so lots of great questions. So what I want to do, let's come back to Daniel, because I think we want to talk about something around plugins. I think that's like really cool, something that we want to tease. I'm not sure if like you're on mute, Daniel.
I
Oh,
was
sorry.
on mute,
Oh
indeed.
no, there you go.
That is very interesting. And there's some really good and interesting questions here. And we'll tackle those a bit sooner. I think there's some, particularly around the API question that was asked. I think there's some configs you can add to your deployment scripts to make sure that only certain parts of your app are accessible. But if you'd like sort of like to have a conversation around that, Mart G, um, do join our Discord. Be more than happy to have that. But yeah, thanks so much, Paul, for showing us what's new, what's up. And if you have any questions, please do add them to the chat. How are you feeling? The demo went well, actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's I was expecting something to blow up as always. The demo curse.
Oh no,
It's
no, no,
all the time.
you're fine. But yeah, we have something super exciting that we will be announcing sometime tomorrow around plugins that we're sure the communities is going to love. Hopefully, I was hoping to announce it today, but I really just want to tease it and have people try and guess what that might be. But it's definitely around plugins. There's definitely some rewards for plugins, around plugins, and I think right now that's all I can say. But I would say if you want to sort of get a head start, definitely do look at the plugin resource page that I shared. And it might just come in handy sometime in the really near future. Um, so nice, nice. Shout out to you, Alex,
Yeah.
who made the plugin email designer. I'm glad that you like doing that. Hopefully, sometime we can have you come and demo that plugin and share sort of like your inspirations and experience doing that. I would love to do that. I think that would be really, really awesome. But I'm not sharing my screen right now. Let's actually do that. Okay. Right. So I think I shared a bit more about like the special event that's coming up. And so yeah, definitely look at that plugin development guide. It will definitely be super useful in the near folder in the near future. I looked at Luca's question on media library folders, and that was the first thing on my mind. But I also just wanted to talk about a lot of what's been being talked about in sort of like the Discord. We did put out a migration guide, and we have like a data migration script, and we've got a lot of feedback around what those are. I can tell you that the team is definitely looking at that and looking at ways to better support the community with what's already out there, plus probably some additional help, some additional guidance, and some communication from our part. Maybe we might do a stream around that. Maybe we might write a blog post, but definitely being talked about, and we will definitely be sharing more updates on making that process much better and much more seamless. So don't worry about that. I know I've been getting Derek and I and a lot of other people have been getting a lot of questions around that. So I just wanted to let you know that we're on it, and we'll be back soon with like a lot more information. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's being mentioned in the chat. I want to make sure that we answer any questions you might have. Like I said at the beginning of this is sort of like us easing back into doing these sort of sessions on a regular basis. And so we'd like to know. Um, ah, I sort of um, spoiled the thing for like half a second. So if you're super
Maybe
quick,
they
or if you watch
missed
the, yeah, maybe you missed
it. You
it.
missed
So
it. They missed it. Yeah,
if
yeah,
you didn't miss it, if you didn't miss it, don't spoil it for anyone. But
yeah.
yeah, we'd all like to know what you'd like to see. I think there's a couple people who've mentioned stuff on migration. There's a couple of people who've mentioned stuff on Strapi in production and would like to see more content around that. Would you like to see us like build stuff and deploy them? Would you like to see us sort of like bring some engineers and talk about concepts that you want? Um, Definitely feel free right now to drop some comments. Let us know, and we'd really appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions about what we just shared, and if you're super curious also about what's coming up for in terms of like releases, you can always check out our Canny page, which now is sort of like um, our go-to page for keeping track of sort of like the Strapi roadmap, what the team is working on, and sort of like upvoting things. So definitely keep track of that. And I'll just share a link to that here just in case anybody missed it. But yeah, we have a couple more questions. We have a little bit of time to tackle some questions around what we talked about today and also get some feedback on what you'd like to see. So I see extensive sessions on backend policies. But I think this is something that you are planning on working on, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Somewhat similar.
yeah, for sure. So, like in the works, we're gonna talk about basic best practices of customizing the backend, starting with like routes, controllers, services, and then talk about policies and stuff like that. So that's definitely in the works. We have a list of things that we're doing. I know we also in the future we're going to do similar content around customizing GraphQL as well. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing, Paul. And yeah, you should definitely catch that. Paul will be sharing a lot of really cool resources on our YouTube, which by the way just hit like 10K. Right? That's a pretty big
Nice.
milestone for us. So we're pretty happy about that. And yeah, you should definitely check the stuff that he'll be putting out on on YouTube. Someone else shared building projects and updates for tutorials and docs with Strapi's fast and costed updates. Many guides quickly get outdated. That's definitely true. We've definitely ramped up on updating a lot of our articles. If you go to our blog, you can see that we have a lot more articles updated that work with v4 now. And if you go to strapi.io/blog/tutorials, you can see we have a tag that lets you pick what type of tutorial you want, if it's a v3 tutorial, if it's a v4 tutorial. So we're also doing the same thing on YouTube. We have a dedicated v4 playlist that you can look at in case you're looking for v4 specific content. So thanks for that, definitely. Alex says he wants to, they want to have more content on MongoDB. Okay, they're clearly joking, but that's super cool. We might. I feel like there's some content around MongoDB, particularly around migration. So who knows? And more videos. Well, yeah, too soon, but we can only wish, right? And more videos on deployment on render and Vercel. How to update Strapi would be great. That's super nice, yeah, because I don't know what you think, Paul. I think there's a big assumption on our part whenever we update the Strapi version that um, some users know how to like run that migration and update like to the next Strapi version. That's definitely something we could work on, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Okay. And then also more on how to customize the UI, like create a new custom page. Is that in is that in inside Strapi or in like a front end? I'm not really sure. I uh I get that.
Yeah, what's
There's,
cool is that you could also add a lot of, I mean, obviously you could add some of that in Strapi core customizing, new pages that you want to show. But I think like a cool approach is you could do it via plugins, as well, which I think is
oh
cool.
yeah, absolutely. um, we'll be definitely putting a lot more plugin content, and because of that, showing how to use the design system a bit more. So, oh yeah, front end of admin UI with Strapi.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of the plugin content, like Paul shared, would be very useful when talking about customizing the admin UI. So, we'll definitely work on that. And then also more more love to see more about deployment with Jamstack frameworks. That's
By the by the way, in the chat, I'd love to see what's your favorite front end framework that you guys like to use most of the time for your projects. I know everybody has their favorite.
yeah, that's the like maybe it's not even web based. I feel like a lot of people I've heard of a lot of people who use um Strapi for mobile applications or IoT devices. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was seeing a lot of Next.js love.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at that.
Oh, but Vue also,
View,
yeah.
view, yeah. That's the cool thing about like Strapi is that it doesn't matter. Like you could use whichever one you like, which is just what I like. Uh, it's funny. For a lot of my stuff, I used to use just regular React, just because But now Next.js for sure is pretty awesome.
Agreed. Definitely doing a lot more Next.js. But I know the folks at Nuxt came up with like a new version, and I definitely want to do that. I see someone's mentioned SvelteKit also in the past. I've done some stuff with Svelte, and I feel like SvelteKit is like a step up. So I'd love to try that out sometime. But yeah, I think we're about done with today's content, by the way. Thank you so much, everyone, for your feedback and your comments. Um, Anything else that you want to touch on before we call it a day, Paul?
I just want to say thank you all. Really had fun today, and like Daniel said, definitely hop on Discord with any questions that we might have missed. Um, we have a great community there, and I'm looking to be more present there as well. And uh, just happy to had a lot of fun today. Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you also, Paul, for coming on. I'm sure everybody will love hanging out in the near future. And like I mentioned, this was sort of like introductory, us getting back and sharing what's been happening and what's going to be coming. We've taken a lot of your feedback, and we'll be doing these a bit more often than we've done in the past. And so looking forward to interacting with everyone again, chatting and getting more feedback on what stuff we need to work on and how we can make your lives easier. So that's it from us for today, at least. Thank you so much, Derek, for being in the chat as usual. Um, and thank you, everyone, for joining. Also, there's a link to our Discord if you are not in it. And we have a couple of links that we shared if you want to scroll on the chat and look at the things that we mentioned. The um, what did we mention? I feel like it's just like a recap. We should probably go back um, to what's been happening. Just a quick recap. We already talked about StrapiConf. But yeah, we did the dark mode. We did the guided tour, guided demo. We have the in-app marketplace, and we have the plugin resource page. So definitely a lot of really cool things coming up in the near future, and we cannot wait to share them. And thank you again, everyone. Hope you have a great day, great night, great afternoon.
Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.